Seems to me 99% of people love Supercilious. And you know, we've got to look into that. We've got to ask a few questions. And you know, from what I can gather, people say, well, because he's real. He's fucking real. Okay, yeah, he's an obnoxious, belligerent, you know, demeaning motherfucker, but somebody's got to say this shit. Somebody's got to say this shit. We're in a world now where people daren't say this shit, and I'm embarrassed to be a human being, almost. If I wasn't me, if I was a lesser man, I'd be thoroughly embarrassed. For instance, right, I speak to these gym instructors, and there's one of them, and I've been talking to him about keto diet and Atkins diet, and talking about the results and this and the other. So it's been an ongoing thing, and he knows what I'm about. He was talking to one of his female clients, overweight of course, and she was going, yeah, I'm on the diet, but I'm stressed, and you know, this, that and the other. And so I just went, tell her about the keto diet. And he turned around, looking kind of like, you know, you shouldn't be saying that, embarrassed, and he went, what about it? And I went over, and I said, well, I've told you, I've lost 5 kilos in 6 weeks. And he went, yeah, well, he starts fucking pulling his eye like this, and he's all red-faced. And I think he was poking at his eye because he was blushing, because he felt embarrassed because I mentioned diets to his client. And that was kind of like, that's a taboo. You should never ever say that. You'll hurt people's feelings. Anyway, so he continued. He went, well, it's all right if you want to be miserable. And I'm like, well, it depends how miserable you are. If you're like, you know, massive amounts of weight over, and it's ruining your whole life like it is. Look, people don't go on diet for the fun of it, do they? They go on the diet because they're tired of living or existing in their present state, and it's the last thing they want to do because they love eating food and they love being free and all that, and the last thing they want to do is start compromising their pleasure in life. But they will do it as a last resort, and the vast majority of people never actually get through them because they just don't have the staying power, because they cannot stave off their satiation levels for pleasure. They just need constant pleasure. And so my point is here in this video, people, you've got a training instructor that knows all about diets and knows all about training, and yet the last thing he's going to be saying to any of his clients if they're overweight, unless they're begging him for information, is information about how to lose weight. Because if someone's overweight and he starts speaking about diets and what are you trying to say? I'm fat, and then to go complain to the management, he's demoralising me. He's saying I'm fat. I'm not fat. I'm just a big girl. You know, big girls different to fat girls. You know, we get involved in semantics. How many of us have heard like, oh, she's a big girl? You know, big girl sounds better than fat girl, doesn't it? She's a big girl. I mean, if you're a big girl, it's kind of like, you're not fat, you're just a big girl. Oh, come on, people. You know, you do get big girls, like stature-wise, they're fucking bigger than men. They've got broader shoulders than most men. And it's kind of like, wow. Yee, how do you wrestle with one of them? I'd be fucking too intimidated to have a go at that. You know, some of these birds that stand 6'2" and got fucking shoulders like fucking Garth. It's kind of like, yeah, big girls, they don't do it for me, big girls. But I think girls should be petite and, you know, proportionately smaller to the man. I don't think women should be bigger than the men, to be fair. You know, we're not spiders, are we? We're not tarantulas, where the female tarantula is bigger than the male and he fucking gobbles him up as a bit of a snack after they've copulated. So, yeah, look what's happening to the world, people, when the gym instructor, I mean, I never said anything out of line. She was talking about being on a diet in any case, and so I thought, well, I don't know what you were like before, but you know, you need to continue that diet for a good few fucking months, girl. And so I thought, well, bit of advice, a bit of unwelcome advice. keto diet, there you go. So I've been speaking to Mrs. Y about keto diet, and she wants to try it. But then of course she's got reservations, like everybody's got reservations about going out their comfort zone. And she says, well, I do like my eggy bread in the evening time, and I do like my milky coffee. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, do you want your fucking cake and eating it in life? Since when has that happened? Since when's that fucking happened? Why is it that people are like, yeah, well, oh, my milky coffee, oh, I like 2 cups of milky coffee a night. I'm like, are you not prepared to make any fucking sacrifices? That's the thing, isn't it? And like, I'm talking to this Indian dude in the shop over the road from me, and he's got a big belly on him, and like, he tells me he wants to lose weight, and he's eating a fucking pasty directly out of the microwave. And I go, well, that don't look like a bloke that wants to lose weight to me. And then he says, well, how do you do it then? Will you stop eating shit like that for a start? In actual fact, just skip breakfast and leave. Oh, no way, no way. Whoa. How many of you can't even fucking skip breakfast? Jeepers creepers. What the fuck's happening? Oh, well, I get hungry and my tummy starts rumbling. And if my tummy starts rumbling, I've had people tell me, oh, I get really angry, I do. I get really weak, or I can't think. And I'm like, really? No, it's just in your imagination. It has to be in your imagination, because the body is a miracle and it's got sugar reserves. And for fuck's sake, look at your body. You got about fucking 2 stone fucking sugar reserves on it. You're not going to be in a fucking mental deficit just because you don't have breakfast. Trust me, people. You're in a mental deficit because you impose that upon yourselves. God, you know, just the way people think. They just think weird, don't they? They think weird and they do just weird shit. Nobody's prepared to make any sacrifices these days. You know, Jordan Peterson, he's a fucking smart dude. And when he's talking about the biblical corpus, and he's talking about the psychology behind the crucifixion, the symbolism behind the crucifixion, it's a sacrifice. And he sacrificed himself, God sacrificed himself in human form for the sake of saving humanity. So that whole thing is about sacrifice, and one of the greatest tenets of religion is sacrifice. No gluttony and you know, all the rest of the stuff that we love to indulge in, promiscuous sex and everything. It's about sacrificing the urge. And I once read a book, and it was about the crucifixion of the carnal flesh, the crucifixion of the body, of the flesh, of the ego. Basically, you crucify that shit, and all that's left is spirit. And so by the time you've metaphorically crucified your ego and your body, you have deprived those collectives from desire and from gluttony and greed and all the rest of this stuff. And by the time you've purified yourself from those negative facets of what it is to be a human being, then you're deemed to be reasonably pure. And so, when we discipline ourselves, and when we don't do the drinking, and we don't do the smoking, and we don't eat all the chocolates, and we're not lazy, and we don't allow our mind to atrophy and all the rest of these things, well, I'm always telling you people, that there's a new world for you. There's a new world that you enter into. Not only do you enter into a new world physically, but you enter into a new world consciously. And this conscious world, which pertains to being supremely fit and active, is a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful thing. And the whole world just comes alive. Why? Because you come alive. Because you're out walking, you're fit, you're strong, you're nimble, and you're in the world, and you can climb and you can run and you can do all things and you can explore, and you feel fantastic. You're not wheezing, your mind isn't concentrating on your pain. Because when you see people walking and the faces are miserable, they're not enjoying it. They're just not even enjoying a walk in the park. You know, and that's, for goodness sake, that's if 1 in a million aren't fucking staring into their phones when they're walking through the park. How many people can we see these days that are just staring in their fucking phones? So the whole thing about sacrifice, people, is really, really important. And with Jordan Peterson labouring that and writing about it, he wrote his latest book, Those Who Wrestle with God, or We Who Wrestle with God. And in there he's talking about all this stuff that we wrestle with. We're wrestling against the metaphorical devil all the time. And we're wrestling with God because we know what's the right thing to do, and yet we're like, yeah, but God, I like those cream cakes. I like just lying in bed till 11 o'clock each day. I still love you. I'll pray to you this afternoon, but at the minute I just want to lie in bed, being a lazy fucker. And my sock drawer, well, I'll get round to that. I did tidy up 1 pair. I paired 1 pair yesterday. I'll do another one today. I promise. It's not cutting it. So you're wrestling with God, aren't you? You're wrestling with God because the devil's pulling you down. And so you have to realise, people, that the devil is behind the machinations of these liberalists, because they are pulling the human down in every single facet of what it is to be a human being. Everything is okay when you look at it rationally, and it's simply not okay. Ask doctors if it's okay. If people are crying because they're hungry and they've just got to keep eating chocolate and cream cakes because they've got emotional issues, ask their doctor if it's okay. I'm pretty sure if they weren't all fucking bound and chained and gagged in this nasty, evil fucking liberalism, then they'll be saying, no, it's not okay. You need to diet, you need to stop this bullshit, fucking gobbling chocolate down, you need to go and see a fucking psychologist to work your issues out. Because eating yourself into an early grave to avoid thinking about your childhood fucking misery isn't the way forward. Trust me, it isn't the way forward, people. Now, you see, when you listen to me speaking here, Supercilious isn't here. Now, Supercilious is just a few notches up on the ladder. If I was to introduce Supercilious, I'd be going, look, all these fat motherfuckers, these lazy cunts, that's Supercilious. But if I say, look, overweight people, they're miserable, and this, that's not Supercilious. And so I can lose Supercilious without affecting the quality and calibre of my delivery, because I can just gently soften the delivery, which and use less profanity, which will be much more acceptable to more people. You see, they like having the painful truth delivered to them candy coated, and so I'm not fucking candy coating it too much. If I am candy coating it, then it's a very, very thin layer of sugar over the bitterness. But yeah, so it's, I don't have to make too many modifications to eradicate Supercilious. But there's always been a need for Supercilious. People have always loved Supercilious. My Supercilious rants have always been the most popular. Always. And I would put up these rants and I think, fucking hell, must have upset 100 varieties of normies in this rant, and yet there won't even be a single thumb down. And I'm like, holy Moses. There's a need for it. There's a deep-rooted need for it. And I'm still trying to work out if I've missed anything when I'm contemplating what that need is. But I think mostly it's because we're being stifled and we're being gagged. And you know that that's wrong. And even if you are one of these people that feels like you need to be protected by the elimination of freedom of speech, because you're too weak, basically. You'd love to be slim, you'd love to be fucking have a great body, and you'd love to be getting chased by all the guys or all the girls and all that, but you just don't have it. And it's kind of like, oh, not my fault, I weren't born with it.
I ain't fucking born like this. I've always been a slug, to be fair, Aaron. I'm like a sloth. In actual fact, my mum, she used to call me sloth. She said, come here, sloth. And I'd just go slothing over. And most of the time, I'd just be in bed.
Yeah. I don't know what that germ is. I don't know what that disease is. I don't know whether it's been manufactured by the CIA. I don't know whether it's being dripped into our water. But one thing for sure is very, very pervasive. And I think that probably to be lazy may be a natural propensity of the time when we don't have to be physically active, really. We just get up, we drag our clothes on, we get in the car or get on the bus or on the train, and then we sit there with our earbuds in, and then we like slurch off to work, we get a taxi, we get in the lift, and then we sit down all day. Well, you've barely burnt up a single calorie. Your heart hasn't fucking gone above anything which is remotely outside of being sedentary, and you've conditioned yourself into the sloth-like nature. So the body is a brilliant thing, and so what it's done is the body's gone, oh, well, it appears that we don't need these muscles anymore. We don't need this brain thinking and solving equations and forming patterns anymore. So, well, we'll just concentrate on something else. So what does my lifestyle seem to demand and require? Well, being fat and overweight. Well, okay, then let's see if we can just fucking store all this extra food. Let's concentrate on storing all this extra food, because obviously this body wants to store it up because it thinks like it's going to be really, really starving soon. So maybe this person thinks that they're ready for a famine, so they're storing up their body fat like a fucking squirrel or like a bear. Maybe the body thinks that, and that's why it is so good at storing fat. Morning. But if it isn't doing that, and if it's a conspiracy to dull the mind down into lethargy, so everybody is just very slug-like and dumb and easily controllable and cold at the end of the day, well, we can see that they're doing a very good job about that. And of course, you know, they're always talking about fluoride, but there's loads of other things in the food, people. Loads of other things. Every single piece of food that we've got, there's always a story about it. Oh, Bill Gates is doing this to it, and Bill Gates is doing that to it. And, you know, it goes on and on and on, doesn't it? But what I can tell you, people, is that I've always eaten whatever I've wanted to in my life. And I don't consider that anybody's done anything to me. And so, as far as conspiracies are concerned, that there's something in the milk, and there's something in the meat, and there's something in the sausages, and, you know, on and on and on. Well, I've just ate a whole bunch of shit in very, very large amounts, but I've always been very, very physically active. And so I've always staved that off, and my body's always been in tip-top condition, and it's dealt with it. The body's a miracle. So I don't believe. I just don't believe. I'm the proof in the pudding that that whatever they are putting in the food and the water, well, it doesn't touch you if you are physically active. If you put your body under duress every day, then your body is vastly more powerful and intellectual than any silly poisons going in your body. It's going to be able to deal with them because it's a life force, and there's a billion things going on inside here, and it knows how to deal with all this shit. But you've got to help it along. You've got to be active. You've got to make sure all the organs are working properly, the body's working properly and it's efficiently and all that. And then if you do that, I've never had a serious illness in all my life, and I proclaim that I never will. When I want to die, I'm going to die at 93 without ever having a serious illness. And so, well, what can we attribute that to? Mind over matter, people. Belief in your godlike nature. I think that's got a great deal to do with it. I just absolutely know. You can call me delusional, whatever. I know that I'm cosmic God consciousness, and having a fictional human experience, and I'm here for as long as I want to, and that's just how it is. And all the rest of all these ailments and illnesses, well, they're just for the people that have the level of consciousness and weakness of disposition to allow them to be a number in the numbers game, because somebody's got to have that shit. And so depends what ballpark you're in, people, what ballpark you're in. But with this gym instructor, who started to blush when I started talking about diets in front of his fat client, well, it's all over for the fat folk. It's all over for any fucker. And you know, you watch them training them, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, oh just do, oh yeah, a little bit, oh yeah, okay. Or if it's too much, oh, we'll take it down. There's nobody saying, come on, you can do more. Come on, no, you're not stopping now. No, do 2 more, do 3 more. Like the old days. The old days used to be fucking full of people in gyms. One more, that's it, push it. And then people would be getting up, pumped and feeling great. You don't see that anymore. You just don't see it. It's like, oh, that's okay. It's okay. Oh, you can't do anymore. Okay, fine. Oh, don't get sue me. You're not going to sue me, are you? Because if I said do 1 more, you see, this is it. If they say do one more, and then next week they come in with a shoulder fucking injury or something like that, they start suing. He was forcing me against my will. I told him I couldn't do it. This is the world we're in, people. This is the world. And so it's fucked. And the only people who are not going to be fucked are the people that are just kind of like blessed with cosmic God consciousness, who are just not subject to it. They're not embroiled by it. The fucking herd's all embroiled by it, and invariably they'll never escape. And I think the general consensus is, with you, the viewer, you're always going, look, these fuckers, they'll never fucking see it. They weren't destined to see it. So it's the whole metaphor, you know, don't throw pearls to fucking swine. You let the dead bury the dead and all that, yeah. But you know, there is a margin, and all you guys, you must be within this margin, because if you were the swine and the dead, then you most certainly wouldn't be consistently watching my videos. You're watching my videos because something is telling you to, even though some of the stuff you don't like, but there's something that always draws you back. And I would say that that's your higher self, your God consciousness, or your unconsciousness, which may be the same thing, just different terminologies. But there's something outside of your regular cognizant brain. It's like when you go on a mushroom trip. When you go on a mushroom trip, you hear another voice coming from another place, and it's telling you all about your shit that you didn't want to face. And it's kind of like your great grandmother, you know, talking to you from the fucking clouds, telling your son that, you know, you shouldn't be treating mum like that, and what about your kids, you don't spend much time with them. And he's going, yes grandma, okay grandma, fucking hell, alright grandma. And that's seriously, that's what a mushroom trip's like. You know, I've had Jehovah chastise me for 3.5 hours, and then I've just had regular mushroom type voices, entities telling me that I should be doing this and should be doing that. You know, this is how it is. And you know, these mushroom trips, they're like 2 years psychotherapy. In one session you'll get 2 years worth of psychotherapy. You'll get the greatest of revelations, and you know, they're amazing. And you don't have to take that much that everything starts to go weird and everything. You just have to take enough to make you pensive. You see, there's different levels of taking these mushrooms. If you take smaller doses, then they're just going to make you pensive, and they're going to make you insightful and contemplate. When you take more, then you're going to get all different sorts of wacky stuff, and it's going to go wild. Yeah, but you know, with lower doses, like 1-2 ounces, ounces, grams, people, 1 or 2 grams of like psilocybin mushrooms. If you take cubensis, the American variety, then you need more, because they're not as potent. But yeah, and by the way, you know, I'm not encouraging you to take them, because they're illegal, by the way. And if anything's illegal, then you really shouldn't be doing it. That's what I say to you people. So let me just wrap this video up. Power. Your power. Do you have it? I know some of you write in the comments, you don't have it. You just don't have any power. And you look at me and you go, this guy, he's got cosmic power. How come I didn't get any of that cosmic power? I don't know. I don't know whether you don't have it. I don't know whether you're self-deprecating or denying or poisoning dialogue brings that about, whether your poison rhetoric weakens you because you're constantly telling yourself that you're rubbish and that you can't do things. Because that happens in lots of people. They're always unsure, insecure. Maybe the parents told them you'll never be anything, you won't, you're no good, and you know you failed exams when you was a kid and people laughed at you, and then the rot sets in. But I seriously think you can change lots of this stuff. All you gotta do is put yourself to the test, and keep putting yourself to the test. It's like what Jordan Peterson says. Look, if you think you're an absolute loser, well, just get out of bed one morning and make your fucking bed. Just see if you can make your fucking bed. Make it once a week. Make it once a week. And then, if you've made it once in the week, see if you can do it two times next week. And then have a look at your sock drawer. Pair your socks up. And Peterson says like, well, this may sound really fucking dumbass, you know, low level, but if people are in these mental depressive conditions, then in that state most people can't do anything, and they'll never come out of it unless they start willing themselves to come out of it and turning away from acquiescing to the slump variety of living, just sleeping all day and never doing anything. And you know, if you open a fucking jug of orange juice or something and you pour a bit in your glass and you don't put it away in the fridge so next time it's not cold and all this sort of stuff, you just don't do anything. You do the absolute minimum just to survive. Well, you gotta start doing more than that, people. You really have. And for those of you who aren't depressed and can do more, well, you've just got to find the time to do more. You know, people always used to tell me when they was impressed with me going to the gym and how fit and strong I was and all that, and they'd always say to me, oh, I don't have time. And then during casual conversation, I'd just say to them, oh, did you see EastEnders the other night? And they'd go, oh yeah, oh fucking so-and-so and so-and-so. And I went, that took an hour, didn't it? Well, yeah, every session's an hour. Well, therefore you do have time. You could have used that to go to the gym. And it's like, yeah, well, you do have time, people. You can find the time. And you can find the energy. You just got to turn it on. You got to turn it on. And, you know, the thing is, like, we all know this. Sometimes I go into the gym, it's kind of like, I've trained 4 days on the trot. I should have had a day off really, but I didn't. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fucking, you know, do it because that's how I am. And so I'm doing it. And then I start talking to someone, and if the conversation's good and I get inspired, then all of a sudden I'm lifted. And then whatever I'm doing double that I would have done normally. And I say to these people, I said, fucking hell, you know, conversations like this, they lift you and inspire you and fill you full of energy. Why? Because you've just turned it on in your mind. And whatever positive thoughts that they've increased the dopamine or serotonin or whatever, and then that's flushed through your fucking body, and all of a sudden you've got energy again. And you do more than you thought you could because you've turned it on. So it works equally, just like placebo and nocebo. The placebo works great if you believe it. The nocebo works that way if you don't believe it. And so It depends what you believe. And this is why people say your thoughts are your reality. They really, really are. If a depressed person was standing here looking out over this field, like my old man used to, he always used to be walking around looking at the ground, smoking his roll up in deep contemplation. And I'm like, what devil's inside your mind? And he'd look at me and go, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, you fucking got devils in there, old man. And he wasn't like he was stupid, he was an intelligent person, but he seemed he knew little about fucking human psychology. And he always had these fucking devils and, thinking about his life and, would it have been different if, you know, his first wife didn't kill herself and he didn't have a cop death of one of our children, fucking hell, if the second wife didn't leave him and all this, you know, and so drinking and stupid fucking roll-ups. And I just say to him, I just say, you're your own worst enemy. You've got a pessimistic demon, and it's gonna take you to an early grave, and it did. And you know, his pessimistic demon even used to try to overpower my positive shard of God consciousness. And in the early days when I was younger, around about 20 years old, he could have that effect on me because he was kind of like the plague. When I used to go and see him, his negative demeanour would always bring my positivity down. And I'd go back to my girlfriend and she said, "You been round your dad's again?" She could fucking smell it on me. It was thick in the air. She says, "Oh, I can just tell from your whole demeanour. You're just down. That's not like you." You know, and so I started to wean myself off of him because he was very, very bad energy. But then once I'd weaned myself off of him and I became more powerful and I trusted my own positive energy, then I'd just fucking be in his presence and he wouldn't touch me. And I'd just go and see him and I'd say, "Oh, I've just done this, I've just done that, I've just laid in the great I've been laid in the sarcophagus in the great chamber in the King's Pyramid." And he'd be looking down at his newspaper and he wouldn't even look up and he'd go, "Yeah, I've seen it on the telly." And I'd go, "You've seen it on the fucking telly?" Right, you've seen it on the telly, along with fucking 10 trillion other fucking people. You ain't fucking been there, old man. I've been there. And it's a whole different fucking ball game. And I've climbed the motherfucker too. And I just fucked off. So not fucking listening to you, you cunt. Yeah, so negative dispositions, they'll kill you, people. They'll kill you in the end. If they don't kill you physically, they'll kill your life. They'll kill your zest. They'll kill your vigor, they'll kill the joy, they'll kill your perception of things, because you won't be able to see the light, you won't be able to see God, you won't be able to see cosmic God consciousness in everything, and it's shocking. I used to walk up, these beautiful national parks with my old man in the early days of his depression, like this, looking at the fucking ground, and I'd be running around and fucking, this is when I was doing karate, and I'd be doing fucking flips on the ground and fucking throwing some kicks and stuff like that, and then I'd be having a bit of a chat with him and he'd be like, pretending not to notice I was doing any of that stuff. And I was absolutely full of life, just showing him what a life could be like, you know. A life could be absolutely blissful and joyous. But he chose the other route. And so, after 3 suicide attempts, it finally worked. And so it's a state of mind, people. Now, I know lots of people, I've known lots of people who have said that they've been anxious and depressed, and some have took medication and got some respite from it, and some in time have come out of it normally. And doctors will tell you these days that being depressed and anxious is a normal societal thing. But we build it up into such magnitude. When someone dies or something bad happens to you, it's fair game to go in and feel depressed, because it's kind of like it's a regrouping and a gathering of what you believe to be true, and all your energies and everything like that, because we need things like this to make us think about where we're going in our lives and what we're doing with our lives, and then we come out of it wiser. And so we need these things. And so why just because if someone dies in the family, my
my mum's died.
Well, fucking mums do die. You know, be grateful that your mum didn't die when you was 4 fucking years old, like mine did. You know, I can't stand people when they're like 15, 60 years old. Oh, my old mum's dying. Oh, my old dad. Oh, he's not gonna last. But oh, for fuck's sake. How old is the cunt? 80 years old. He should have been in his box fucking 20 years ago by all accounts. The useless fucking eater. For fuck's sake. What's he given to the world for the last 20 years? Nothing. Fucking nothing. I can't stand that motherfucking shit. Oops. Oh, Supercilious just came back. Supercilious just came back in for a cameo. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ah. Yeah. Oh, well, when people speak to me about their elderly parents dying, well, I go, oh, that's so terrible. Oh, I am sorry. I'm truly sorry that your 89-year-old mother is about to die. Oh, I do wish she could live another 100 years. Wouldn't it be wonderful if these old people could be a burden to society? I mean, not a burden. I mean, if they blessed the society for another 100 years, and the state just kept paying for them, because the state's got lots of money, and they can just keep paying for them, and to have all of these aid workers and paramedics and everything, yes, just keep it going forever and ever. Oh, please. The pathetic, shallow state of the human being. Just accept life for what it is. We live and we die. That's what we came here to do. We came here to learn how to die, people. We came here to learn how people die. We came here how to lose people. We came here to learn how to suffer. All these things, it's not because we're a freak of the cosmos, it's because it's all been perfectly, perfectionally fucking planned. And by the time we can go through life and it's all water off a duck's back, then we're ready for the next game, aren't we? Doesn't that make more sense? It's just like a fucking computer game. By the time you can do all that shit, you're ready for the next level. And so by the time we've experienced all this stuff, and we're not all in a tizzy, oh, when one of our fucking girlfriends leaves us or something, it's just all water off a duck's back. It's not fucking real at the end of the day anyway. It was all an illusion. It's all fucking Maya. She never loved me in the first fucking place. What is love? Love doesn't exist. Good God, people. That's why people love the Awake and Brave channel, love Supercilious, because it's fucking real. I'm not talking bullshit here, people. I'm just talking so close to the bone. And people with constitutions for all this stuff, they absolutely love it. The weak, it's only the weak and the feeble and the pathetic that don't want to hear shit I've got to say. Well, Supercilious doesn't give a fuck about the weak. He really doesn't. Supercilious tells these fuckers to get in their boxes. Get in your box and fuck off. Go on. You know, better luck next time. You weren't strong enough for this fucking dimension this time, so get in your fucking box and fuck off. Right, and next time when you're up there and they're telling you who wants to go down for a painful Earth experience, say, can I go to Mars instead? Where, well, nothing much happens really. But as long as there's no pain and suffering, then they'll probably sue me because I'm a weak bitch. Yeah, you know, I'm so. Oops, Supercilious come back again. I don't know about this Supercilious, you know. I don't know whether I'm ever going to be able to get rid of him. He's just always here. He's just always sitting on my shoulder. Supercilious. He's always ready to. He's got fangs and he's got claws, and he's got beady eyes and they're glaring, and he doesn't miss a trick. He doesn't miss a fucking single thing. It's Supercilious, Supercilious, and he jumps and he preys on the weak and the feeble, and the imperfections of the human being. Yeah, Supercilious. Ooh, yeah, he's feeding on that shit. Ooh, but he's not fat, you know. Ooh, he's not fat. He's the fine figure of a man. He's full of muscles. Because he turns all that negative energy into massive muscular power. That's Supercilious. Can you see him now, people? Can you see him? He's just here. He's just here. Anyway, Supercilious, fucking take a break, right? I'm talking to these people. and they like a bit of love and light on a nice fucking sunny day, so fucking give it over, will you, mate? Thank you. Anyway, people, I'm going walking today with Mrs. Y, and it's a beautiful day, and the sun's beaming down, there's not a cloud in the sky, and I'm feeling like $1 million, I'm feeling like 1,000,000,000 fucking stars, I'm feeling like God, to be fair. In actual fact, I know I am God. I am God, so I'm enjoying being God. What are you enjoying being today?
A forklift driver, a shelf packer. Are you a cashier girl?
Come on, you're more than that, aren't you? Aren't you? Or are you my cashier girl? Are you my forklift driver? Are you my chicken packers? Are you? What's going on?